I'm Melissa.
And I'm Mike.
Welcome back to the A&M podcast. Welcome back to another beautiful week. We're both wearing gray today. How nice.
Wow, how about that? I wear a lot
Oh,
of gray.
we're so neutral toned. Yeah.
I mean, actually,
Okay.
actually, mine's more of a. Yeah, I guess it is a gray. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a something from one of the various vacation locations I've been to recently.
Ah, love a vacation t-shirt. Um,
Yeah, it's like reliving it every time you put it on.
yeah. Yeah. I purposely don't wash the ones that you guys get me, so it keeps that same island smell to it too.
Yeah, the kind of coconut smell,
Yeah.
coconutty, pineapple-y. Actually, that's usually just because we spilled a pina colada on it.
Yeah.
So
Or the sunscreen. True.
yeah, or sunscreen, right?
So, anyways, today we are
Yeah,
talking about, I guess stuff that that's why I asked you, like, have we talked about this recently? But I guess, like,
yeah.
we've sprinkled in little facts about it, but never an actual, like, whole
we we
episode.
brushed against the topic I think last week with the whole thing with the parasites and that.
Cyclospora.
Yeah, the way the way my thing framed it is, can mission driven brands scale without losing its soul? Which I think
Oh,
is a good way to put it, because a lot of the brands that we were going to talk about are things that like started out as being, clean eating or clean products, and
mm-hmm.
you know so I
Yeah.
think that's a good way to frame it.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, exactly. So, like, there are a lot of brands, I guess, that have they're non-toxic brands, but they ended up selling to these big corporate companies. But there's also brands that have not yet. um who knows if they ever will. There are some companies I think that have been around for like years. I read you one of them on our pre-show. But
Right.
okay, yeah, so I guess I'll just jump right into my list unless you want to start.
No, please. We probably
Okay.
have a lot of crossover because I think there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah. So I'll start with we'll end on good news. I'll start with the non-toxic companies that did sell out to the big brands. We'll start with those. So Applegate Farms, they sell like meats and lunch meat and stuff. So
Okay.
they ended up selling out to Hormel, which,
Mm.
is just big lunch meat.
Yeah, big lunch meat.
So and also, like, I guess I will say it doesn't matter, like, just because all these brands did sell out to these like other big corporated brands doesn't mean necessarily that the ingredients are different as of now, but it's also not it could mean that they will change the
Yeah. I mean,
ingredient list or add things that they shouldn't add to, like, make it cheaper for themselves because,
exactly.
you know, if I
Yeah, I mean,
buy.
having worked in like large corporations most of my career, I can tell you that at some point
Mhm.
somebody in finance or somewhere looks at, costs and says, well, we can cut 5% of our overhead by using this product instead of that product, or using, a
Ingredient.
filler instead of all
Mhm.
whole things. Yeah, that some at some point I feel like
Yeah.
that's going to happen, because I feel like when they buy these brands, they buy it for the kind of the customer base and the reputation, not necessarily to me. And you're right. We're definitely not saying that like all these brands we're talking about that have sold have now become garbage, because
Mhm.
that's not necessarily the case. It's just it's gonna the focus is gonna be different when you're putting the shareholders into the equation versus the product.
Yeah. It's more of a like a PSA opening your eyes thing, cuz I know a lot of times, like, there's some of these brands that I had no idea like sold to the other companies, and they used to be
Sure.
this like good organic company, but selling to the other company could mean that, like, when they add an ingredient that they shouldn't add, or take away an ingredient that, like, you probably wouldn't prefer that they take away, and
Right.
change a bunch of things, that's absolutely not something that the company is going to put out a big hey heads up on.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
Well,
they're gonna
and
sneak it in there and hope that you keep buying it, and then until you notice like, wow, this deodorant that I've been buying for forever that never used to break me out now suddenly is like making me feel weird, or doesn't have the same scent, or this
yeah,
tastes a little off, and you might not even think anything of it, like the fact that they sold and now they changed the ingredient,
right.
but it's just something to like kind of
And
keep your
I
eye on.
think like from an awareness standpoint too, a lot of times when we think of some of these products, some of these brands as like being a smaller homegrown kind of brand, and I think in a lot of ways that attracts you to it versus the big corporate brand. So it's just being aware of that, I think, is helpful, because there are some of these that I didn't realize that I thought again as those smaller like homegrown brands.
Yeah. Um so yeah, Applegate. Another one I have on my list is Native deodorant. Well, Native, I guess they sell like body wash and
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, like body wash, hair wash, all that stuff. So Native, they ended up selling to Procter and Gamble. No, not Procter and Gamble. They're like the big dog of all of it.
Yeah.
They man, Procter and Gamble, they own dang near most hair washes and body washes, shampoos, conditioners, all that
Don't they
stuff.
own like a lot of
Lotion,
the
like
don't they own a lot of the like laundry brands too, I feel like?
Procter
Yeah.
and Gamble is huge,
If
which
you're
also
washing it, they probably own it.
like, man, don't even, that would be a whole separate episode of just like the all the toxic like cleaning products. I have a couple on my list, but the cleaning products, the laundry detergent that they say is in, like, stuff is in there. I guess we just really can't use anything, or we're just
Yeah.
adapting our bodies. But yeah, so Native sold to Procter and Gamble. Again, I don't think the ingredients in anything has changed yet for them, but
Keep your eyes
that's
open.
one that I'm sure is coming.
Yeah.
Um, Burt's Bees. You said you had that one on
Burt's
your list.
Bees. Yep.
They sold a while ago. Some of these also, like, these are kind of old news, but um yeah, Burt's Bees sold to Clorox, and their ingredient list has changed. Can confirm. You can. That's an easy Google search to look at their ingredient list before and after selling to Clorox.
Yeah.
There's even a lot of people who I've like seen write about it that have said like they used to love Burt's Bees and they do not use it anymore because they said you can, like, just quality wise, you can noticeably tell that the like the ingredients just aren't the same. And as we were just discussing before we started recording, I'm pretty sure what happened was the CEO used to use really good ingredients, and um, he ended up passing away. The business got passed down to, I can't remember which family members it got passed down to, but then they ended up selling to Clorox. So
Mm. So that was a matter of the family just didn't want to run the company anymore, and
just got a big lump sum check out of it, and yeah, and then Clorox took over, and they sold to the Clorox actually. Man, I should have looked up that beforehand, but like Clorox owns a whole lot of products that all I'm gonna say is you would have no idea that Clorox owns, and probably like wouldn't want to know that they own.
I
You know what
mean,
I mean? It's kind of like if you
I
found
don't
out that
think.
like Clorox, like as a company, was like making ice cream or something, you'd be like, wow, that's a weird matchup.
I mean, it's yeah, but it's not like I think that. Wait, did they
They're
make this
pouring
ice cream in
bleach
the
in
same
everything.
vats they're making the
Yeah.
bleach? Yeah, I mean
No, it's not
that's
really
not the
that.
case.
No,
It's
no,
just a
no.
weird. It's just a weird
Yeah, like
combination. Yeah.
like
It's
I yeah.
I took your advice and I looked up the ingredients in just as an example in Burt's Bees beeswax lip balm before acquisition. The
Mhm.
original formula relied strictly on raw beeswax, coconut oil, sunflower oil, peppermint oil, vitamin E, tocopherol, vitamin E, um, and was marketed as a simple, minimal ingredient, completely vegetarian, cruelty-free, product. Post acquisition, they added lanolin, a grease fat secreted from sheep's wool. So there goes
Bees.
your, yeah, well, and there goes your vegetarian
Oh
cruelty
yeah.
free.
Hmm.
Was introduced in certain lip lines. While natural, it meant those specific products were no longer vegan or suitable for strict vegetarians. Canola and vegetable oil blends. So they went away from some of those better oils to the canola and vegetable oil blends.
Not gonna moisture your lips at all, by the way. Like that's a super
Yep.
terrible, like, have you seen the videos on just like how bad, even like, not to interrupt, but like how bad vegetable and canola oil and all those like bad oils are really for you? Like, I guess they have
Yeah.
to add certain things to those oils, because if they didn't, for the scent wise alone, because if they didn't, they would smell like so awful that you like just wouldn't even be able to stand it. Like, it's
Really?
so bad for you, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, the only it says they added those for mass retailers for like mass production for
Because it's
places like
cheaper.
Walmart, Target, CVS because it's
Yeah,
cheaper. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's one example of where they did actually go the route of going for cheaper products because they were trying to get to mass production and yeah.
And like, I
Continue.
guess them adding those cheaper oils, it'll give you that initial sensation. Like, I could go up in the cabinet and well, I don't have vegetable oil, but like, you can go and get some vegetable oil and put it on your lips, and for a second it's going to make it feel like a little moisturized, but it is not really moisturizing anything. So,
Then you're gonna wonder why when you're out in the sun you're smelling like French fries or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, so there's also a brand called Hue Chocolate, which is still ingredient wise really good chocolate for you. But they did end up selling to Mondelez, which is also craft. So,
Oh,
you
okay.
know, who knows how long that's gonna last. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
Hershey's used to be real chocolate, or like kind of real chocolate, but now it's not even marketed as chocolate anymore. It's marked as like, it's not marked as like chocolate. I think they call it chocolate candy or chocolate flavored candy now. Like a Tootsie Roll. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they don't market it as actually chocolate.
It's like the
So,
people back in the day that used to try to say that KFC, wasn't chicken anymore because they don't call it Kentucky Fried Chicken, they just call it KFC.
uh,
Think about it.
yeah, I guess
Um,
so. Uh, yeah, or like they do the same thing with ice cream. Like a lot of, if you look at a lot of ice cream in the store, how there was that like huge thing years ago where people were going to Walmart and they were like getting the ice cream sandwiches. They were saying that it's like not real ice cream because it doesn't melt. And
oh,
now if you look at the packaging, like, that's where it is like kind of important to like read what you're buying to an extent, because like if you care about that stuff, if you don't care, then yeah, like, go off. There's
right,
some things that I don't care about, but um it will say like on the ice cream now, it doesn't say like real ice cream. It'll say
right.
like, some fancy little print basically saying not real ice cream.
Yeah.
So,
It's like Cool Whip. Cool Whip is not ice cream. It's like oil based and
it'll
stuff.
say like
It's
frozen
it's not.
dessert or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
There you
You
go.
know what I
Frozen
mean?
dessert.
Like,
Yep.
so yeah, just
Yeah.
something to keep
Yikes.
an eye
Yeah.
on. So Poppy and Siete Foods, those both sold to PepsiCo. That was actually very recently. I remember Adrian
Mm.
telling me that they like recently acquired Poppy, which Poppy is like, my grandfather. No, Poppy is Poppy
Hi,
is
Poppy.
Poppy. Um, Poppy is it's supposed to be like a healthier probiotic soda.
Right.
Now it's going to PepsiCo, and
Yeah.
I guess
So
like the thing is, once you know that they sell to these bigger companies, it's just a little less trustworthy.
right.
You know, like,
Right.
so Siete Foods. I used to buy the Siete chips. You've probably tried the Siete chips before
I
too,
think I have. Yeah.
like the tortilla chips and stuff.
Yep.
And they have really good ingredients in them. And it actually was like had this whole story on the back, I think, of those where it's like about the family and stuff that owned it, and like the ingredient list was pretty clean and good. But then it's like they sell to a company like PepsiCo, who's owned by Frito-Lay, or like they're like this with
Yeah.
Frito-Lay,
They're
something like
like
that.
they're like second cousins, twice removed.
Yeah, they're like family members for sure.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, okay, so now this is just gonna is this gonna end up being just on the same track of uh what's the tortilla chip on Frito Lay? Why am I having it? Uh,
Doritos,
not Doritos, the other one. They're regular tortilla
Tostitos.
Tostitos. Yeah, like is the Siete chip just basically
Yeah,
gonna and
right.
like that's how they'll
It's
get
an
you to keep buying
expensive
it
Tostito.
because it's like you people see like organic on the front of something and they'll just assume it's organic, but there was this even this protein bar. So I guess like to be classified as like protein where you can like label something as protein on it,
Right,
like
right.
um it has to be I think at least 10 grams of protein for it to be like legally labeled protein. It has to be 10
Oh.
grams of protein per serving. However, a lot of loopholes that some companies, that's why you got to read the labels, because
Mm-hmm.
there's this one company of a protein bar and they have two protein bars. They have their protein and then they have their like, I don't know what it's called, like extreme protein or whatever. The extreme protein's like 20 grams of protein. The other one, the other protein bar package that they have, it's only 8 grams of protein per serving,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still labeled as protein. But they get away with labeling it as protein even though it's under the like required 10 grams of protein because in the small fine little print on the front of the packaging they have not a good source of protein.
Oh, that's
And because
hilarious.
they put that on the front of the packaging, they can get away with labeling it as protein even though it's not actually
That's
enough
incredible.
protein to be required, like, but they know that a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, I don't know, some people don't read the labels. They just like are looking at it and blindly buying it because it says protein and they put like
Yeah.
leaves and all this organic fun stuff on the front. You're gonna buy it and then
Then you get home and you find out it's not that good. Well, one thing I found out with like protein supplements, like I use this, we gave you some of it, that protein powder
mhm
that is for like shakes. I found out from a nutritionist that with those kind of products, you have to look and make sure that it's like third party verified,
mhm
because a lot of those products, like, yeah, they contain proteins, but the way
mhm
they get the protein in there isn't
oh,
like
lots of
the best
chemicals and
way. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
lots of
And
nutrient stripping.
yeah, and if you get one that's like third party, it's basically an independent like laboratory
mhm
reviews it and says, "Yep, this is what they say it is." So that's if you're
oh,
looking for that
right.
kind of stuff, you want to make sure that it's third party verified.
Yeah, because a lot of that stuff anyway, like I was, it's funny because, yeah, me and Adrian were having a conversation about it last night about like so many things say protein, but you have to just eat a chicken breast,
Yeah,
some shrimp,
yeah.
some
I
salmon,
mean that's
because like so many of the like protein labeled things, like they have protein mac and cheese now, they have
mm-hmm.
protein cereal, and the thing with those is that okay, it might have a little bit of protein in it, but it also has so much sugar, so many chemicals, so much just extra stuff that like calories and all that you probably like it's not even worth
Right.
the amount of protein that you're getting from it.
Yeah, I mean they say the best way to get your protein is like from the source, like get it from, you're right,
Yeah.
from like the animal meat or whatever, versus getting, they say the same thing with like getting your vegetables, and that you're
Like
better
the
off
yeah,
getting your vitamins from like vegetables than getting them from, vitamin supplements.
like a yeah, or like the a lot of those green powders, the
Right,
vegetable greens, the powders.
right,
So many of those just have so much unnecessary chemicals and sugars in it that it's not like just eat a spinach salad. Like
right,
really,
right. Yeah,
or put it really I was reading that the only real time that you should even be like messing with the like protein smoothies and stuff is to just amp up your protein goal for the day, like, like as a snack and mix it with some berries or something like
right,
that. That's also good for
right.
you
Yeah, or
because
like or like a Greek yogurt, great source
Mhm.
of protein because again, it comes from the food, you know.
Um, yeah, like even a lot of the electrolyte powders when I was like
Mm-hmm.
researching stuff for this episode, a lot of the
Right.
electrolyte powders for your drinks, it's bona fide table salt, y'all. Like I actually have a really good brand though that I found in looking that, we'll get to. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we're still on the. So can I give a couple of the ones
Yeah,
off
yeah,
my
yeah,
list
good.
then? So one of the big ones that I never realized was Annie's Homegrown. You've seen that. They make that. We have
Mhm.
some here actually, the mac and
Kid
cheese.
snacks, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that was sold to General Mills, which is like big food,
Oh, yeah.
in 2014. It says they're famous for their organic mac and cheese and bunny characters.
Crazy.
Classic example of big food buying organic market shares. Consumers debated whether ingredients or corporate standards changed post sale. In other words, just what we're talking about with Burt's Bees, as far as the
Mhm.
quality of the ingredients. You know, being compromised after the sale.
They're one of
And
them that has that sells the new protein mac and cheese.
mac and cheese. Yep, yep.
Mhm.
So yeah, they're just trying to. I think that's a case of taking the brand, versus they probably also own. Do they own Kraft mac and cheese? No. Does General Mills own Kraft? I don't even know.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but you know, I think that's a case where like since that brand already sort of had that kind of organic reputation, good for
Mhm.
you reputation, tagging like the protein onto it is more friendly to that brand. And then
Well, yeah,
another
yeah,
one I
no,
had.
exactly.
Another one I had was Honest Tea. Did you ever have Honest Tea? That
I
was
don't
like
think so.
it was a low sugar fair trade organic tea.
Mhm.
Coca-Cola bought it, big beverage,
Yeah,
bought it
big
bought it in
beverage.
2011, and they eventually got rid of the product line altogether in 2022. So you can't even buy
What?
Honest Tea anymore. It
Wow.
says though that the founder Seth Goldman launched Just Iced Tea, a different brand, to reclaim his original mission. Which I feel like if you're somebody who starts that, like you start a company like that because you have a mission. You really do want, lower sugar or whatever, better foods. And I
Mhm.
feel like at some point you grow it to a point where some big corporation comes and says, "Hey, we want to buy your brand." And I think sometimes with those founders, there's one of two things. It's either like it's so much money that you'd be stupid not to do it, right?
Mhm.
Or they come to you and they say, "No, no, we're not going to compromise the integrity of the product at all. We're going to keep that integrity. We just want to, own the brand." And I think especially since a lot of times I think the people who start these companies, because they don't start them out of a I want to become rich mindset. They start them out of a I want to do something good mindset, especially with these kind of products. So then when a company comes to you like that and then they're offering you a ridiculous amount of money, you're like, I
Mhm.
guess I'll do it.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's what happens with a lot of these.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I'm really sure that some companies like, you know, they should put in their contract something about not changing ingredients or
Right,
things like that. I'm pretty sure that is a thing somewhere somehow. Probably not with all of it.
right,
Obviously with the Burt's Bees guy, like his kids or wife or whoever sold it, like they probably weren't thinking about all that because it wasn't their company that they started, so they probably didn't
right,
have as much like connection to it. But if it was me, I would definitely be putting in the contract like, okay, I'll sell it to you, but you can't change anything about my product. All you can do is take it over and resell it.
right,
But the ingredient list needs to stay the exact same, and who knows if like these big corporations somehow have loopholes where they can like change it, and who knows, but
right. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, when you have like Coca-Cola, for example, buying a smaller brand like that,
mhm.
their lawyers have some clause in there that they're like, well, in the sixth year, this
Right.
part of the contract actually expires, or
Yeah,
something like that.
exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, wow, I didn't know about the Annie's one. That's
Yeah.
see, and that's where that's man, that got sold so long ago as well. And that's one of those companies that look at the front of it, has the cute little bunny, says organic on it, and you really get, you know, fooled by the packaging.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like sometimes with these brands too, those smaller homegrown brands, even when they sell, like Burt's Bees is a great example, they keep that kind of smaller, minimalistic, homegrown brand type of packaging to, I
Mhm.
think, keep your mindset that no, this is still that same, small company brand that you're used to, that you love.
It's kind of like what they said a while ago about the genetically, I don't know, the lab grown meat that they're going to
Right.
be starting up.
That
How certain
that
things
they
to look
sell at KFC because it's not chicken anymore.
certain things to look for in your labeling for at the grocery store when you're buying meat, because they're obviously not going to put right on the front of it lab grown. They're
Right.
going to use different terms that you're
Right.
probably not even going to notice unless you're really reading the labels. And
Right.
even if you're reading the labels, it's not going to stand out to you as lab grown. It's going to
Right.
just, be another
Yeah.
word on the front of your packaging. Like, okay, is this chicken breast? Okay, we're good. Add it to
Yeah.
the cart.
Yeah.
Um, man, so one that I have that you're really going to hate because you were just hyping this brand up not too long ago, I think on the podcast. Rouse. Rouse.
Oh.
Rouse sold to Campbell's.
Yeah.
Rouse sold to Campbell's. And I also, when I was looking it
When
up,
did that happen?
I'm not sure, I don't have a date.
Oh, okay.
But at the same time, Rouse is not a good brand when I was looking it up. So apparently Rouse does use like the lowest quality olive oil.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, they use the lowest quality olive oil in their
What does that
sauces,
mean though?
and it's just,
It's just virgin olive oil. It's not extra virgin olive oil. What
they
makes olive oil extra virgin?
so
Never mind.
they use use the lowest quality olive oil possible. They use inorganic tomatoes, and they also can't verify their ingredients are non-GMO, but they market their
Oh wow.
products as premium, and they pay off the influencers that,
Ah, like,
you would
well,
trust.
they're
So,
they're not paying me, so
true.
I just, well, see, it's the reason I always liked their brand for pasta was because they were simplified ingredients. Now, if that's changed, they were more basic ingredient lists.
So the olive oil used is a blend of refined olive oil and virgin olive oil, which is sourced from Italy, but again, it's refined olive oil. So it's a mix of refined olive oil and the actual like virgin olive oil. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm using this healthy oil, but I'm adding canola oil to make it go further. But
Right.
I
Okay.
have beef tallow. I'm using like beef
Yeah.
tallow, but beef
Yeah.
tallow is expensive and I'm trying to fry all this food, so I'm going to add canola oil to it to like stretch it further.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, it has some good ingredients, but like this much. And then the
Yeah.
rest is refined olive oil, which is olive oil that has been stripped and chemicals added to it to make it withstand high heats and all that stuff. And
So I assume though originally their brand, their ingredients were more pure. Yes.
I would assume at some point. I didn't look up the old time. It's just the now. It's the now. Let me do a quick search for you, Dad. I got you.
Okay. While you're doing that, I have another one on my list, that Cliff Bar.
Oh,
Yeah, Cliff Bar was sold to Mondelez International in 2022.
also Kraft.
Also Kraft, right? So yeah, Kraft isn't owned by by whoever we were saying before then, obviously. Yeah, long celebrated for
Oh, true.
refusing a $120 million buyout in 2000 to remain independent. Cliff Bar eventually sold to the owner of Oreos and Cadbury. So, also didn't know that Oreos and Cadbury were made by Kraft. I thought Cadbury at one time I thought was made by Hershey's, but I guess not, unless maybe Hershey sold that brand.
So, no, their ingredient list stays the same as it always was.
Really? So it
Hmm.
was never
So I think like the reason that it can't call itself non-GMO though is because of the mixed refined oils. So it can classify itself as olive oil, like in its ingredient list, it's going to say just olive oil, but because it's a mix of refined olive oil and virgin olive oil, it's still olive oil. So,
right.
you know, like, yeah. So,
Wow. Yeah, it
still
says
better than
it's
some of the other sauces there, but if you can, you might as well just make it yourself.
yeah.
It's
Well,
not
yeah,
that,
that's
you
true.
know.
And again, when I talk about their products, I talk more about their pasta anyway.
Hmm.
But yeah, 2024, March of 2024 is when they were sold. Oh, and actually it says they'd already been acquired in 2017 by a private equity-backed food conglomerate called Savos Brands.
Mm.
So they had already been sold in 2017
Yeah.
because they were originally founded by it says a 10-seat Harlem Italian restaurant originated as an extension of a legendary exclusive 10-seat Harlem restaurant that was founded in 1896. George Shaw's built a massive loyal following, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
So yeah, you know, you do what you want, guys. Buy it or don't buy it. Like,
Don't buy it or don't buy it.
we don't really
Can
care.
we switch gears to the good brands now?
Wait, I have one more.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, I have two more. So, Lesser Evil, they sold to Hershey, and then Lesser Evil is that healthy brand. Is that like organic healthy brand, which I think they still have good ingredients, but who knows how long they
Right.
sold to Hershey. Hershey also
Right.
went from real chocolate to chocolate flavor, so
Yeah. It's
And then
disappointing.
Vital Proteins Collagen, that's a big one out there. Vital Proteins, that's like a very
Yeah.
known brand.
I
You've
think
seen
we
it.
buy that. I think we
Ugh.
buy it,
They sold
or have bought it.
they sold to Nestle. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Another big food.
big food. Yeah. So, anyways, on to the positive side of things. Go for it, Dad.
Yes, the still good. Oh well, I wasn't ready. I thought you were gonna
Oh yeah,
go
yeah.
first, but
Okay, yeah. I have still goods. I have still goods. Okay, so chomps. We all love chomps. Whoa, it's like getting darker in here, so if you're watching the video version,
yeah.
it's getting very dark outside, and I didn't have my light on. Okay, so chomps, they have not sold out yet. Chomps is still chomps. Chomps is, I mean, it's little beef sticks or turkey meat sticks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We buy
You guys
those. We
have
buy
them.
those all the time. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so those have not sold out yet, and those are like, they're decent for a good snack. Um, Unreal, the brand that sells like the good, healthier candy chocolate, they sell like those healthier version peanut butter cups that are pretty good. Those they have not sold out yet. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they don't sell out to Big Candy because I do love an authentic brand.
You say big
Um,
candy, and I think of the giant chocolate bars, and
yeah,
now I'm hungry.
that's
So
what's
there
coming
we
if
go.
they sell out to Big Candy.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like it's come on, like something's wrong when they're selling like the 20-pound bar of Hershey's around the holiday.
Right. Yeah.
Kettle and Fire, they're actually a pretty good brand. So they haven't sold, yeah, they're still their OG self. Um, Kettle and Fire, so they sell like beef broth, bone broth
Right.
in the containers.
Okay.
And they also, fun fact, they sell a really good beef tallow. Like a jar, you can get a jar of beef
Oh.
tallow from Kettle and Fire. It's very high
Wow.
quality. It's good. It's really good quality beef tallow, and it's really good for like cooking at high heat. Like if you're somebody that cooks at high heat, it's actually
Okay.
way better to go and get that over getting over even using all avocado oil, because a lot of avocado oil, if you read the front, even in a lot of these like high top brands that we see,
Right.
like the chosen food brands and stuff, they
Right.
it's all refined avocado oil, and when it's refined, like with the olive oil, it's it has a lot of things stripped from it and added to it to withstand the high heat.
Right.
So, yeah, if it says refined on it, it's not as healthy as you think it might be just
Yeah.
because it's
Re-
avocado oil.
Refined isn't a good thing when it comes to food, is what she
Refined
said.
is not a good thing. But beef tallow, especially by Kettle and Fire, that's a good one. I think they
Oh.
sell it at Target now, but they also have it at Whole Foods or online. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon. Um, oh, Force of Nature ground meat. That's also a really good brand as well that hasn't sold out. And then I also have a bunch, I love Aldi, and Aldi actually has a lot of brands. They sell some of the name brand stuff, but they actually have a lot of brands that are like just their own, which I read recently that they're gonna, I guess, be putting on their packaging like an Aldi brand, or like a brand of
Uh,
Aldi or something like that on it, just so that you know that it's like
oh
strictly
yeah.
an Aldi brand.
Like they make their own stuff,
Like
is
they
what you're
make a
saying, right?
lot of their own stuff, so it's
Yeah.
not, yeah, it's not like a situation of under this name but being packaged by Tyson or whatever,
Right. Right.
like we found out with some brands recently. So they have their Simply Nature brand, and that's the Aldi brand. Um, and it's called Simply Nature, and it's where they sell like a bunch of their meats. So they have I buy it all the time. It's their ground meat. It's the ground beef. It's grass fed, organic, all that stuff. I love it, and it's super super affordable. Like you can buy the 85% fat one for literally $5.99, and then the other one is $7 and change. The
Wow.
93 whatever is $7 and change for a pound of ground beef. That's amazing. And then they also have their ground turkey and their ground chicken in that same brand, which is also like pretty good quality, and also a good source of protein, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, and they also sell salmon as well. Oh, so they have their. Oh wait, let me see. Hold on. So Aldi also has their brand of peanut butter that I just recently started buying,
Okay.
and it's our organic peanut butter. It's literally $4 and change. The only
Wow.
thing I wish is that it came in a glass bottle, because they say that when it comes in the plastic container, like even if it's healthy, once it comes in plastic,
Microplastics.
it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
microplastic,
Yeah.
whatever. But like, um, the ingredients on this is literally organic peanuts, sea salt, and that's it. And you
Wow.
have to like turn it upside down, and it tastes amazing.
Hmm.
Has a little
Sometimes those natural peanut butters give me a little bit of the creeps because you say about
no.
turning upside down. We had some in the cabinet, and all that oil goes to the top, and then I look at it and I just don't want peanut butter anymore.
That's
I'm like,
where no,
I think I'll have some peanut butter crack. Oh
no.
no.
That's why you're supposed to store it upside down,
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
because then it mixes.
But then when I open the jar, it all falls out of my hand because it's upside down. That doesn't
You
work.
twist it around, you take the top off,
Oh, see, they need to print those
and it's
instructions
actually
on the jar.
no, because when you buy it, obviously it's like right side up and the oil is on the top, but that's how you know that it's a high quality, good peanut butter, when the oil is at the top on the store. So
Okay.
yeah, I just put it in my cabinet upside down, and then it all mixes together, and it's actually super creamy, and it tastes,
Hmm.
I don't know, I think it tastes really good. I put it on my little English muffin, and it's also 8 grams of protein per serving. But yeah, organic peanuts and sea salt is the only two ingredients in it,
Wow.
and it's
That's good.
less than $5.
You
Like
know,
that's amazing.
we have one of those Vitamix blenders,
Mhm.
and they say you can make peanut butter in that, and I always want to do it, and I just never
Oh,
do. They say you can make your own, and
yeah,
I'm
that's
kind of dying to
cool.
try it because they say it's good, but
Mhm.
I've never gone to the trouble of getting peanuts and throw. If I did, I think I'd buy a jar of like honey roasted peanuts because then it would already be a little bit sweet.
Yeah, that would be good.
So.
Yeah, even with like this peanut butter, the only thing is like, you buy the normal like peanut butter Jif or whatever the brand is in the store, and like the only thing is because this is organic peanut butter, it does have a little graininess to it from the peanuts,
Hmm.
but I kind of like that.
Sure.
I don't really like a
Sure.
chunky peanut butter where it's like literally chunks of peanuts, but this just has like a little bit of graininess to it that, reminds you that it's real.
Right.
Um, so they also have a brand Sims, and they sell grass-fed beef sticks that are kind of like a chomps, I guess, kind of like their version of chomps. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, those are also pretty good. 0 grams of sugar, 10 grams of protein, 100 calories, you know. Um, okay, yeah, those are some of my good ones. Do you have any
I
that
have
you
a
would like to
few.
say?
Yeah, I have a few. I'm trying to find the good ones though, because some of these are companies that I've never heard of.
Oh,
So
here,
that's.
one more. Oh, this is the brand of the drink powders that I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
So you can get these at Target actually. I've noticed, have you noticed that? Because I've seen videos on it that like I guess some of these stores like the Targets and even Walmart I saw has is starting to get some of these healthier brands as well,
Mm-hmm.
like the more organic healthier brands. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a brand called Create, and they sell these little drink packets
Oh, okay.
of creatine. And I guess creatine, from what I've been reading, is one of the best supplements that you could pretty much put in your body. It's known to increase energy, muscle recovery, performance, brain cognition, and yeah, as long as you make sure that it's from Crea Pure. So the brand Create is actually a Germany brand, and it's known for its high quality and its purity. And yeah, it's at Target. And they also have like a
Wow.
creatine plus electrolyte that is pretty good as well.
Wow. How
The
about
brand
that?
Create, straight from the Germans. Shout
So
out.
a few of them I have that are still true to their origins, I guess, is Amy's Kitchen. I've seen those in Target, I think, and that they're
Oh
it's
yeah, yeah.
organic frozen meals. They're like the
Mhm.
frozen meals. Um, and it says they've resisted corporate buyout offers for over 30 years
Oh
to
wow.
maintain family ownership, though they face their own labor unionization debates as they scaled. So that's one that has scaled without selling out. They've remained family owned, which is
That's
really great.
amazing. Yeah.
The other one, I think you mentioned this one on the the pre-show meeting,
Oh.
Organic Valley.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's what I was telling you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they're actually owned by a cooperative of farmers, which is kind of
Mhm.
cool. So yeah, that's one. They make let's see, independently owned co-op by thousands of family farmers, ensuring profits return directly to the small scale agriculture. So that's kind of cool too,
Yeah.
that it's actually a co-op owned by farmers. And then King Arthur Baking Company, I think they make flour and they make some other baked products. They were founded in 1790 and they're 100% employee owned, which is kind of cool.
That is cool.
They're a certified B Corp. So yeah, they prioritize non-GMO ingredients. And one more, and I don't know if I have to do a full disclosure on it, so I'm not going to. But another one that is currently anyway still true to they're still owned by the founders actually is Magic Spoon. They make low sugar, high protein like cereals, and I actually for breakfast this morning had their oatmeal. They make little breakfast bars, that kind of
Mhm.
energy bars, those kind of things.
Yeah.
So they're another one that they're involved with some venture capital, like. investors, but they're still like run by the founders. So that's kind of cool too, that they're, that kind of company. So
I remember
there's a
when they
few of
first
them that
came
you can
out
still.
and they just had like you can only buy them online. Like that's how it
Oh
was when
yeah.
they first came out and it was like
Yeah.
a online only thing. Once they hit
Yep.
Target, it was like, "Oh, what?" I remember seeing it like they're in store.
Yeah. I think a lot of smaller brands start out direct to consumer because it's like so easy today
Mhm.
to set up a Shopify shop
True.
and have your products, you can even have your products drop shipped from a Shopify shop. So if you work with a warehouse or whatever,
Mhm.
there's a little more complicated because,
Yeah.
they're actually making the cereal. But
Mhm.
I think it's a lot easier to get a business up and running through a direct to consumer kind of model
Mhm.
and then try to move into retail once you're established than it is to just start up a brand new company and move into retail. But it's also interesting to me because when you look at things like the cereal aisle, like using that as the example, if you go down that cereal aisle, it used to be probably 50% of it was General Mills and the other 50% was Kellogg's. Like they're two big companies in the cereal market.
Mhm.
And now you walk down that aisle and you do see a lot more of these smaller brands. And I think it's a
Mhm.
good thing, like the smaller kind of specialty brands
Mhm.
that are putting things there. I think it's a good thing. Like anytime there's competition, it leads to more innovation. Like these products, the
Right.
Magic Spoon, there's our low sugar and high protein, and now lo and behold, I think General Mills has a protein Cheerios out. So it's kind of pushes the marketplace in directions that maybe it wouldn't go otherwise. I think also with all the stuff going on with kind of more the focus on all the things we've talked about before with like Fruit Loops, for example, and the colorings that were being used in Fruit Loops, and the government kind of saying, well, let's get rid of those artificial food dyes. Like companies like those that are coming in, and they were doing that anyway. They were moving away from like that stuff in the first place as part of
Mhm.
just being clean. Um, puts them in a lot better place. So yeah.
Yeah, there was this other brand that was on my list that it was Seven Sundays, and that's like I guess another one of those other just good natural like cereal brands, and it says that they use it's sunflower cereal
Hmm.
and they use real cocoa, and I think like that's amazing anyways just because of you know who eats cereal mostly like
Right.
kids.
Right.
And
Right.
when you think about cereal anyway, I used to love cereal, but when you think about the fact of cereal, like all the sugar that's in it anyways, like that's not a
Yeah.
breakfast. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, you go with that. Now there's brands that aren't as sweet,
no, there
as
are so many
sugary.
options. Like even
Yeah.
if you weren't buying the Kellogg's or the General Mills, like the only other option was literally the generic store brand. They came in
Yeah.
the big
The
bags.
big giant bag. Yep. And it's funny that even the brands caught on to that. They were like, "Oh, people like buying those giant bags of the generic stuff. We're going to sell ours in the giant bags too." Of course, it won't be as cheap as the generics, but we'll
Mhm.
do it. People will think they're getting a bargain.
Yeah, I also before we close out, there was one thing that I saw even about like so salmon. I buy a lot of salmon. We like salmon over here. And when you go in the grocery store, there's a lot of options of salmon. Like unless you go to the fish counter or like a fish
Right.
market or something,
Right.
there's a lot of options on salmon. And so usually you have like the farm raised or the wild caught. And obviously
Hmm.
like I've always just heard that farm raised is bad because they literally just eat their own poop.
No.
But yeah, but it's usually cheaper in the grocery store. So,
Right.
if you go in the grocery store, you see that this salmon is like a little bit cheaper, whatever, farm raised Alaska, like, oh, okay, I'll just throw it in the cart.
Right.
Um, so the only reason that the farm raised salmon is even orange is because of the dyed food that they feed the farm
Oh
raised
wow.
salmon. So it's
Wow.
not even like naturally that color. It's just that color because it's eating lots of orange food. Which is
Wow.
also why it's not even as like vibrantly orange. Like next time you go to the grocery store, look at the difference between a farm raised salmon and a wild caught salmon. Always go with the wild caught salmon, but like or
Right.
wild caught anything. But the color difference in the two is it is actually kind of crazy because it is a way lighter orange.
Yeah.
Um, so, wild caught salmon has a healthier ratio of anti inflammatory omega 3 fats and inflammatory omega 6 fats, as well as an overall better nutritional profile.
Hmm.
It also has fewer calories and half the fat content of the same amount of farm raised salmon.
Wow.
Farm salmon has more than double the saturated fat content.
And also they got to swim, you know, out in nature instead of being in a tank, probably with, you know, 10,000 other salmon.
Right. Yeah, that too.
Yeah. That's a good
uh,
one. That's a really good one. Never knew that. So
yeah.
there we are.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I hope, you know, we inform some people today on this stuff. And I think the biggest general rule is like because it was a small brand doesn't mean it always is or always will
Mhm.
be. So like just be for everything else, be an informed consumer.
Yeah, read your labels, you know, not just the
Yeah.
front. Don't read the front,
Flip it
guys.
over to the
Flip it
back
over to the back.
and say and see who you know, because somewhere on the bottom it'll say like General
Yeah.
Mills Corporation, you
Mhm.
know, or whomever it might be. So
And,
yeah, be aware.
and just read your ingredient list, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that
also,
too.
you
That
know,
too.
cuz
Right. Because ultimately that's what matters anyway, right? The
mhm.
brand doesn't matter if it's clean. It's
Yeah.
just generally once it becomes corporatized, it's, you know, if it started out as a small, clean, you know, product and it becomes corporatized, probably not anymore.
Yep. So,
So,
yeah.
all right. Thanks for watching. And I don't know what we're talking about on Thursday, but we'll have a new true crime. I think we're doing case updates, right?
Oh, yeah, we're doing case updates.
Doing some case updates because there's a lot of small cases that are in process that we wanted to talk about. So we will see y'all then.
Bye.